Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, welcome to Festive Friday. This is actually the last Festive Friday I get to put out on YouTube before the mini holiday catalogue goes live and everybody is able to access it other than just the demos, and you'll be able to see what's on the inside. You probably know by copyright we're not allowed to show you the inside, but we can show you any products we have pre-ordered out of it, which is of course what my Festive Fridays have been all about. So I'm going to show you how to make these 4 one-sheet wonder cards out of a piece of 6x6. It actually comes from the Reindeer Days set, and these lovely reindeers, it was a 12x12, and of course I just cut it into 4 sections to get 4 6x6s, and out of each 6x6 I made these 4 cards. So without further delay, let me show you. I'm just putting them back on. They're sort of like my little templates, and I'm putting them back on the ingredients. What I did do this time though was I cut the paper slightly differently. It's 6x6, so we cut the top off. I've stuck it together like I did the last time with little post-it notes. So I cut a piece across the top that's 2 inches, so right now it's 2x6, and then what I did was I cut it down. So, and what I wanted to do was make sure that the little guy in the middle, see, it wasn't quite even, so I just measured it, so this was the middle and 5.5 out from each side. So these are just scraps anyway, so it doesn't matter that they aren't even, but I did it specifically so that it would be centered with the reindeer. And then what I did was I cut, so if we cut the piece off 2 inches, that leaves us 4x6. So then I cut a piece 2 inches off this side, and that left me with a square that was 4x4, and I cut it diagonally in half. What I did the last time was I cut the diagonal the other way, and I actually cut this long tall piece this way. Unfortunately, that meant when I came to put it on a landscape card, it was, you know, upside down. So luckily the other side of the paper is rather pretty in itself, so I just flipped that one over. But let me show you how I made the card. So we've got and now it's 2x5.5. I've got 2 4x4 triangles from cutting a square diagonally, and I've got this lovely 2x4 piece. So we'll start with this card, and what I did was I'm using the Peaceful Seasons. So I cut a few Christmases, and I cut this in white, and then I've used quite a few of the stamps from the set. So you'll see as we go along. So this one, there's the Christmas. There's always a piece of basic white to go on the inside. When it's a dark card, it always needs a nice clear inside. So we'll put one in just to show you the concept. It's just a regular layered piece, 1/4 inch down. It's 4x5.25, and then when you open it, it's not too dark to be able to see what you have stamped. So then I've got another piece, which again is 4x5.25, and we are going to take one of the triangles, what I call the upstairs triangle, and we're going to put it on. It's going to be fundamentally the same, it's only that the designer series paper is on the different side. So bring in the silicone mat, because it's got triangles at the edge, and we don't want the stickiness when we're putting it right to the point to get on the work surface. So we'll do that, and then it's just literally going to go to the edges, because the white is 4x5.25 and this was a 4x4 square. It just fits nicely. And then what I want to do is, leaving the silicone mat here, bring in the Christmas, which I die cut out of Granny Apple Green, and bring in the glue. And stick it on. nice little itty bitty dots, but I'm doing it on the silicone mat just in case any gets onto my work surface, and again we don't want it to be all sticky. So I will pop that down towards the bottom. Just have to be careful with this because it's so fine it can actually move around, so you want to try and keep it as straight as you can. And then what I need to do is bring in the greeting. So I've got wishing you and yours. It's just the regular polymer stamp on the acrylic block. And then I've got the lovely happy, because we're going to be wishing people happy Christmas. So bring in the Real Red ink and we'll put happy above the Christmas, because that's where it goes. And then the wishing you and yours. And when I made this one, I thought, oh, I've left a gap up there. So what I'm actually going to do with this one is just stamp it a little bit further over. So it's wishing you and yours happy Christmas, because that's more of an own greeting. So close the ink. And then what I'm using are these wonderful, they look like little peppermint candies. They are called Real Red and White adhesive backed peppermints. I mean, how cool are they? So we will bring one in and replace the eye. The die does print an eye, but I thought it was so much more fun to have a little peppermint candy. And then all we need to do is attach it to the card base. So we have the same card, just the designer series paper is on the different side. And like I say, on this one I moved the wishing section a little bit further up so it fills a little bit of this empty gap. So we'll pop that off to one side. Next card, we'll use the other triangle. So again, we've got the basic white to go on the inside, but I will save that since as you already know the concept. And I've got a piece of Pool Party, which again is 4 by 5 1/4, but this is going to be a landscape card. And I die cut this out, so I'm going to stamp the greeting on it in Real Red. Friends and family are the true gifts of Christmas, which is just true in the very much sense of the greeting, isn't it? And then I thought, I wonder how I'm going to stick that to the card. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to make some suede ribbon. So this is how it looks. I don't know if you can see that it's quite hard to see in the video. Anyway, believe me, it's rough and it's sueded and it's fluffy and it's lovely. So the way we do that is I just took a 1/4 inch piece of Real Red and ran it with my bone folder. I mean, you could run it with your scissors or however you want. So you run it one way and then you run it the other way. And what this does is it breaks down the fibers in the paper. And because it's Stampin' Up! Super duper quality paper, the colour is the same all the way through. So when you split it into half, sometimes it's a little bit hard to get it started, but when you split it and you pull it, you just have to keep pulling it gently all the way down. That piece broke, not the biggest tragedy, because we've got the other end to do it, and I've already got a piece of Here's Some I made earlier. I suppose the trick is to try and peel it all at once. I recently did a card where I'd fussy cut something out and I managed to go round all at once, and I told the tale of my grandma saying if you did that with apple skins and threw it over your shoulder, it made the initial of the person you were going to marry. My husband's name is George, and believe me, I can peel an apple in one go, but I've never had the skin look like a G. But anyway, so here we go. So I've got that all peeled down. And then what we're going to do is use a lot of this. And it's going to go in one side and out the other. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually put the paper on very lightly because I want to be able to see where my suede ribbon needs to go. And again, this is being built the other way round. So we can see this is going to go here and fill this corner in. So we just need enough that it will hide under there and go over the edge of the cardstock. And the same with the other side. Thread it in, come up and through and out the other side. And then hopefully these pieces will be long enough to make it round and over the top of the card. So what we'll do is put enough adhesive all over the back of here. Oh, it's very sticky. Ooh. And because the paper is quite fine, I don't really want it to get too annihilated. So we'll lay it where it needs to be on the card and then just gently lift up the paper. Actually, I'm going to give it a little more of a trim so it can tuck under there, and then we will tuck that under, and then these pieces we just need to glue in the back. So we'll put rolling adhesive across those. My only advice would be don't run your adhesive over where it's the suede side of the cardstock because it's very fluffy and it will most likely stick to your rolling adhesive and then get caught up and go off and inside where it rolls around. But anyway, so we'll just pop that on the front, make sure all those pieces stay stuck down, and there you have the other way on of that card. So again, we'll do the same with this greeting, because friends and family are still the best part of Christmas. Oops, and thread our lovely homemade suede through. I've lost my other card. So we'll pop. This will go on the side, as you'll see on this one. It was on the bottom, but this one we're going to pop on the side. Actually, I think I'm going to pop it on the right hand side. So we just need a little bit of adhesive to keep it in place so we know where the ribbon needs to be. And then oh my gosh, so we'll stick these as far as they need to be. And have them over. I'll just cut the extra off because it doesn't really need to be in the back of the card because it's going to be layered on. And then last but not least, we can peel this little piece back off, stick this one down and then pop this one back over. Up to the edge. And again, try not to put rolling adhesive where the ribbon actually is. And then we can stick that. Oh, you know what, that one's got a 1/16 of an inch difference. So that's basically the same card again. And then last but not least, we will do our little holly card. But because I cut it across the top instead of down the side, the orientation is correct this time. This is the white piece that would go on the inside, and this is the card that will go on the front. So the layer is actually 4 by 5 1/4. That's a regular layer size. But what I wanted to do was have the cardstock, sorry, the designer series paper be bigger than the cardstock. So it actually, you'll see it actually goes a little extra over the edges. So we'll pop this on quickly. And it will be the reindeer's star of the show this time. And then I've got another Christmas that I cut out. And then I've got this lovely banner piece, which came out of the same set of dies. So I'm just going to stick Christmas on with the glue. A few dots here and there, lovely jubbly. That will just do nicely. And again, just got to remember that it's quite femma, it's quite delicate, so you don't want to overdo it. And then I'm just going to bring in the happy again. And just stamp that on that little piece and add it to the banner. Oops. So this actually measures 2 1/4 by 3/8, I think it is. But you know, you can just measure it and cut it out of a little scrap. That's what I actually did with mine. And then I'm just going to bring in some of the mini dimensionals and pop them here to give this a little bit of a raise. Oops. Peel the backings off, throw those across the room. One of these days I'm going to surprise you guys and I'm going to put them neatly somewhere and go, wait, who are you and what have you done with Alyson, the backing flinger? So last thing to do is take another one of these wonderful little peppermint dots and make the eye for the Christmas. And there you have it. This one I did in garden green because it coordinated with the green from the holly. So that's that card. Let me just bring in the other ones. Oh, well, that's a landscape of a portrait card. And got these two, and I had 2 more and I've absolutely no idea where I put them. So there you have it, my lovelies. So they're both made with 6 by 6, just cut down. All the directions and dimensions, as always, will be on my blog, and what I'll do is I will put a cutting template so you can see how to cut it. And even if you know, if it matters for like this one where it mattered that it tried to look as centered as it could, I will also remind you of that. But there will be, like I say, a template for both of the designs, both of the angles for the 4x4 squares and everything. So if you like what you've seen, please consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. I do like thumbs up and I do really appreciate those. If you've got any questions or comments, pop those in the box below. I always get back to everybody. And last but not least, thanks so much for watching.